Happy Valentine's Day, folks. FSB Racing, Friday night. It's the Winston Cup 88 series. And we're about 1 minute and counting in happy hour. Alabama Jr. with Greg Bernardo. How's it going, Greg?
It's going good, Milt. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, and to everyone listening and watching. Yeah, Darlington, Milt, the Lady in Black, and what a day for the Lady in Black. It's going to bite back, I think, tonight, Milt.
Darlington, oh Darlington. Yes, this place is murder, man. One of my favorite stock car tracks. The challenge is epic. Got a lot of factors here. This is a track built, a long time ago, and it's speeds that these guys run now. It's lane road here. Very hard to run side by side, but there are some key passing zones, and that is entering turn 3. Really slow it down. You can see the shape of this place is oblong, where 1 and 2 is very high speed banking, and 3 and 4 flat and tight. Gear all the way around this bad boy. And, hitting the brakes and then rolling through 3 and 4, and the exit out of 4 is critical. Exit out of 2, and the fact that you can run. I mean, this thing's like a tire grater, like a cheese grater. Couple laps, and you got to manage it.
Absolutely, yeah. Tire wear is going to be a huge factor here. Guys that manage their tires will be there for the long runs. Guys that do not will be falling off the pace quickly, which could lead to spinning, wrecks, or short pitting and making maybe an extra pit stop come the end of the race, which obviously would take you out of it as well. And that's the other thing, pitting on this track is probably one of the most difficult as well.
Definitely. Well, it's like no other.
You got to woe it down pretty quick. It's very easy to swap the ends of the car as you get down off the banking here. It's a very unique track, very odd track, and it's going to take these guys a few seconds, few laps for sure, to get settled. And we just hope that there's not a lot of early cautions, which is not uncommon here at Darlington.
Yeah, my heart would love to go with Mr. Darlington there, Rick Johnson, many-time winner here in Pro Cup, but my pick tonight's going to be the 6 of Mark DeCenza, sitting there on point. He's due, and it's no accident to got to be a wheelman, and he is one of those for sure.
All right, Milt, the cars are rolling off a pit road here as they begin their outlap. And let's take it. Let me put the roster up here, and we can see how they qualified. And as you can see, not a lot of guys did elect to qualify. They're maybe thinking they don't want to be caught in the middle here, but I don't know. I prefer that to run my best lap and let the chips fall where they may, but we'll see how that works out. But Mark DeCenza takes the pole. Mark had a adventure in that Pro Cup race, Milt. 190 mile an hour slam there, and he's bounced back nicely though, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's like mommy. He was flying in the air. Rick Johnson flew under him.
So I'm sure Mark's looking for a little redemption tonight. Robert Bokum on the outside pole, and he took that win. Let's see how he does at Darlington. He said in practice that it's not one of his favorites, but I don't believe him.
Race car is off. And they're green here. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Yeah, we need to leave that one to DW, Milt.
Really feeling these things out loose and fast and cold tires and Darlington. What, if you're in a fraternity, you want to earn your stripes, but at Darlington, you don't want to earn the Darlington stripe because that usually means damage and your shot at the win is gone.
As we scroll through the field here, Milt, it looks like everyone has made it around lap 1 clean, which is really a good job by these guys. It's not easy starting with double file, sorting everyone out there.
Yeah, I'm sure that the FSB admin in the drivers' meeting, talked about what they need to do to survive these first couple laps and then go racing. And it looks like the drivers have followed suit.
Yeah, it looks like they have. They're all kind of single file here. As the way Darlington is, it's very difficult to pass. You really got to be faster than the other guy, and he's got to kind of give you a little room as well. If you don't want someone to pass you, they're going to have to use the chrome horn here.
Yeah, and you got two studs way in the back, Rick Johnson and Wayne Osborne, and that's not the end of the world at this track. So much can happen. All you need is one long run here, and fuel could become an issue. I've seen Rick Johnson in the Pro Cup races make 36 laps at this track and be able to break the fuel window, but awful early for that. But fuel is about 34 laps from what the drivers were saying.
Well, as you can see, everyone's still clean. And as you said, there's the 2 car bringing up the rear of the field and the 52. Milt, do you think they're just playing the waiting game here?
Whoa, there was a swerving car there. That was the 80 of Ed Finley, and no harm, no foul, no blood. The inside. That's typical what happens when you come off of turn 4. When the car starts to get loose, and you can pile it up right there. Turn 4, turn 2. Those are really when you're getting on the power there, where it can get away from you.
Absolutely, and you can see that kind of a gap has opened there between Ed and Dean, who's right ahead of him, and Ed gives up a position to Joe, who is the series admin and quality driver in his own right, Milt.
Well, I think the surprise up there back at the front, which not really a surprise is, but we got smoke and we got contact into the wall. It's still green.
Still staying green here, Milt.
Heavy tire marks into the wall. I think that's Rick Johnson. Johnson is pitting. Try to go back and look at this. He's got heavy damage, but he kept it going.
And maybe Guy was involved in that as well, because he's a little further back than the rest of the pack. And maybe Rick is out of the race here, Milt.
The PPG glass car won a lot of races in that paint scheme, but not going to happen today.
Oh, why we stay green, Milt?
He just got loose on his own, looks like. Power stabbed it and kept it straight. The guy had nowhere to go. That was a great save by Rick, but had he not had another car behind him, he would have saved that bad boy.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Rick. It looked like he got in the race kind of late there, didn't get a lot of practice in, and maybe that at this kind of track, even the great pros. Oh, we got some more smoke.
Well, he's a body man, an excellent painter, works on all kinds of stuff, and sometimes you got to work awful late, and he's on the East Coast there, so sometimes you don't get much time,
Well, we go back to the front here, and let's give a quick running order since the top. We're already at lap 10. Number 6, Mark DeSenza, continues to lead. He's led every lap so far. 18, Robert Bokum in second. 191. Michael Sanders is in third. What do you think of that, Milt? That's a great run so far for Mr. Sanders.
Mike is just an excellent driver, man, and he really qualifies well and always really fast there. So we're gonna have to see. Obviously, he's going to be a factor in this race.
And we can see right behind him the 5 of Sean Johnson. No surprise that he's running up front. He's had some bad luck in a few races here lately, Milt. He's been running right at the front of the field most of the time and just getting bit by the bad luck bug.
Dean Cotro has pitted and manually disconnected there, so the 060 is done.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had a problem or why he would leave the race there if he was running cleanly, but well, maybe we can send an investigative reporter down to find out what happened there.
Yeah, we'll go back and take a look, see if anything happened while you stay with the green action.
Yeah, and we see up at the front of the pack here, Sean and Mike Sanders are nose to tail. Sean looking a little racy here, like he wants that position, but again, it's tough to pass here. You really have to have cooperation from the guy in front of you to kind of let you go almost. Otherwise, you getting side by side here does not work.
Well, you know, the 5 of Sean Johnson is definitely looking for a good run here. I think he's really got back on the horse, you know, as they say, and yeah, always wants to be a clean driver and had some bad runs and got into a couple cars or got close to getting into them, and it was a little gun shy, but now he's hard charging and always up front, the 5 car.
Yeah, he's a front runner. He's a good driver. He's a clean driver, and he'll have his day. I think it's coming very soon.
Okay, we see the 060. He was slowing for that wreck and slammed into the wall. That's his car was severely beat up, so that's why he pulled it in, parked it.
A damaged car in Darlington are a bad mix. It's not like a Martinsville or another few other tracks that you can kind of beat the car up and still stay competitive. 5th place, the Webb. What do you think of that, Milt? He's having a good run so far.
We've been talking about him every race since you started doing these broadcasts, and massive improvement. And you guys come from, you know, just learning the game and starting out, and then when you see them become studs, you know, it's like trip. And Weber is now a factor in every race, and now racing for Monsoon Motorsports doesn't hurt, you know.
No, it doesn't hurt at all.
All the resources and brain power they got.
We see a car low there. It looked like Mark Favorite was down low and he's getting lapped here by the field. I don't know if he got loose or something else happened to him there, Milt, but looks like he is going to lap down here.
Decinza has gapped the field by 1.02 seconds. That is not easy at Darlington. Yes, there is draft here, but and there's contact. Michael Sanders got loose, and Robert just gave him a love tap there, and both drivers will continue. That's an excellent driving, saving, and also Robert getting out of it.
Contact and not crashing here is not an easy thing to do. It's hard enough just to drive around the track on your own, let alone making contact. But you can see that contact did allow Sean Johnson to get by him.
Yeah, Sean went real high there, which kind of change your angle, you know, sometimes at Darlington later in your run, because the car gets tighter and tighter going up to that wall when you lift in the center of between 1 and 2, and you don't want to have to get out of it so much or scrape the wall. Any kind of damage here is significant, Arrow-wise.
And you can see the gap there that Mark has put on second place Robert Bokum. That's a pretty significant lead here, Milt.
Yeah, that's, this guy owned CCR Racing back in the day with Dan Smith and several of these drivers. Dan Smith was, with FSB for years, so one of the original founders. So, and I used to go there and race with him, and I was like, this guy is as good as anybody we got, if not better. And now he's showing it.
Yeah, so Mark continues to lead. Second, Robert Bokum. Third, now Sean Johnson. Fourth, Mike Sanders. Yeah, there was a little contact, but Mike got back into his focus. It's really easy to lose your focus here, and disaster would ensue shortly after. So a good job by him gathering it back in and staying up with the leaders there in fourth.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was thinking that same thing because that really could rally you, but they both did such a great job there. And you're seeing gaps coming back with drivers here. You can either be saving fuel or you can just be holding on, but fuel can be a factor. Now we're seeing long green flag runs here.
And we see a couple other cars trying to join the top 5 mix, and that's the 99 of Pops and the 49 of a teammate of yours, Derby Dong.
The rundown after 23 laps is Mark in first. Second is Robert Bokum. Third is the number 5 of Sean Johnson. Fourth is the 191 of Michael Sanders. Fifth, Pops Martinson. Sixth, the 49, Derby Don McCorston. 7, Ken Ron in the 303. 8, Steve Weber. 9, TJ Reese in the 53. And 10th is Ken Hansen, who, Ken's just joined the league and the applicant and won his first race last night, he was telling us. Which he's only run a few of them still.
Yeah, he won that race. He was a dominant truck. It was the rookie truck series in California. He was one of the dominant trucks all night, and well-earned win. It wasn't easy. There was a late caution there, and he had to fend off a couple of challengers, but he did a great job. And as you can see, he's doing a great job tonight at a very difficult track.
Got a nice battle here. I'm watching 2 different screens here, but that battle with Pops and Michael Sanders and Derby Don, they've kind of caught up to him there, and that's really hard following into turn 3 is a pucker moment every lap.
It sure is, and I think this is a case here in talking with Derby Don about this track. He likes this track. He knows how to finesse it, and I think his first 10-15 laps there were taking it easy, and now he has a fresher set of tires, and he's going to be able to make some moves past some guys.
Yeah, and they're by Michael Sanders, so he's definitely used his stuff up a little bit.
Yeah, Mike.
Easy to do.
Yeah, very easy to do, and of course with that contact and trying to keep up with the pace, he might have used up his equipment just a little more than he would have liked to. As you see the 303 getting the run on the outside of him right there, Milt.
From last place, Wayne Osborne is up to 11th. He's 10 seconds back from 10th place, though, so, he needs a caution here.
Yeah, we can see that Weber, who was running up with the leaders, is really fallen off the pace, and that might be another case of just trying to run too hard too soon.
Welcome to South Carolina.
Yeah, and he just got his Darlington stripe right there as well.
You can see the speed. I can see it by eye watching these cars, how much they've slowed down. We're seeing pit stops probably about 3-4 laps, but you might see some here that are going to elect to say, I got to get in now and get some tires, and maybe I can, because the thing about Darlington is when you have green flag runs, sometimes if it stays green, you pit earlier, even if you go off sequence, make up such track position in 1 or 2 laps. Where then if a caution comes out, you can really, there's a lot of thinking going on here.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you want to stay out as long as you can, but trying to figure out the window at lap 30 that's a long way to go.
Absolutely, and this is a track where fresh tires to old tires is really magnified as opposed to some other tracks. So that is something. If you're a little behind right now and you're struggling, there's no reason to stay out right now, or you're just going to fall further and further behind. Get yourself into pits, get 4 freshies, and go out there. And if let the chips fall where they may. But I think staying out here when you have a struggling car is not the way to do it.
I'm really impressed with the 99 car. Always fast and always a good qualifier. He's really.
Oh, we have an
Oh.
incident here, Milt.
Uh-oh.
It stays green, but it looked like there was a car stopped on the track. I'm really surprised to see green here.
That's Mark Fravor. He got loose in the picture another time, and his smoke. Pace car still sits there, chilling.
And it's staying green. That's another. This is another one of those SDT tracks, Milt, and they're stingy as all get up with cautions. They just don't throw them. It's almost like a road race here.
Yep, definitely what we've seen. Got to be pits soon, and we're seeing pits. 49.6. The cars up front. The 6 signals again. Wants to make sure the guy behind him. That's smart move. Signal early, then late. That's what I do twice. They're all pitting. Pit.
Yeah, and there we see the leader, the 6 car coming into the pits. Let's follow him in and see how he does this, how he negotiates this pit stop.
Is right on the fuel window for a 147 lap race.
Got to go agonizingly slow down pit lane. It must feel like you're just losing lap after lap, but everyone has to do it, so you just got to keep that in mind. You do not want to get a black flag here under green.
45 miles an hour. You're coming from 180 down into the braking zone. Couple different ways to do it, where you come in, stay on the track, and then veer off, or I like to brake in a straight line and stay low, get in the pit road. But that wall is just begging you to T-bone it.
And the 6 car finished the service. Right. Looked like a pretty solid stop there. He's back out on the track. There we see the 83 of Steve Weber in the pits. There we see Derby Don and Robert Bolkin coming in. Derby Don going out. Now Steve Weber completed his service. He's out. There we see Robert getting his service.
Fravor was going to pit again. He's had some issues. He didn't bring the caution out, but then he came back around and tried to hit pit road and missed it.
And there we see the 72.
Then Fred Scone in. 4 tires for that Scone.com Ford.
And Robert Bolcom out.
And then Swift Trucking Chevrolet, 4 tires in service.
Oh, Jesus.
Nice and smooth. 4 in. Pit road exit is difficult here. Pit road entrance. FSB Racing, green flag stops, green flag racing at the Lady in Black, which we tried to scare the viewers to death here, and they just proved us wrong,
Yeah, no, as
far.
As the green flag stops cycle through here, we see we'll keep an eye on the running order and see what the winners and losers were. Here we see
Mike Sanders sideways in his pit stall. Got 4 tires, so he was pointed almost perpendicular there.
Whatever it takes, but that might cost him some time trying to exit out there.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he actually did get 4. As I just caught him as he was leaving there, but it looked like he was all in his stall, just crazy.
Yeah, and as we continue the cycle of pit stops, we can see the 18 is now slightly ahead of the 6 car.
Must have pulled one out there.
Yeah, and there we see the leaders, the 18 and the 6 are swapped positions. Let's see if Mark can run him down or if he's just going to be content here. Running someone down here, you might be able to run them down, but then your tires, like as we talked about, they'll be used up, and then you're going to head to the back or have to make a short pit stop. And, Mark has been out in front now. Now he's going to be the chaser. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just enforce your will here. You have to hope that you put pressure on a great driver like Robert, and he makes a mistake. Then you can pounce. You just can't go in and beat somebody if they've got a good line. Otherwise, there's going to be a pinch point, and something bad's going to happen.
Yeah, and right now the field is really spread out, and guys that are not even third place, Sean Johnson's significantly back behind the top 2.
4 seconds. Wow.
And
4.5.
They're really going to need a caution here, or this could be a 2-car race really early on.
Well, it just describes to you, the difference in nailing that pit stop and how difficult it is. It's like driving into a football field in turn 3. It's so flat right there, and there's a couple different angles to get in and get to 45. You're turning so far left from the cockpit, you can't even see where pit road entrance is. You have to, because the roll bar is right there, so you have to just know where it is, and then all of a sudden, as you turn, there it is. There's the line. You better be at the right speed, or you're going to be too slow or too fast.
Yeah, that's right, and you can see that's definitely what happened here. Those green flag stops, the guys that were fast, Robert and Mark, have really pulled away, and the guys that struggled a little or just made average stops have really fallen back. There's the 5 of Sean Johnson. He's in 3rd, but as you can see on our running order, he's over 4 seconds behind the leader, and he has a 3-second lead over 4th place Pops Markison. And now the 5th place is 303 of Ken Ron. That's a good run so far for Ken. He's had some bad luck lately. And you can see that 5th through, let's say 9th, they're separated by about 6 seconds. So there's a lot of gaps here, and some guys are going laps down now as well, Milt.
This is typical Darlington when you get green flag racing. And it's pretty much like that. Kudos to these drivers, but and you see the separation. So some of it is when they pitted, but I think most of the front runners all pitted the same. But when you're out there on worn tires, and we got smoke.
Yeah, we got some
and they're
trouble
slowing
here.
down. Whoa, Wayne Osborne. It's about time he had some good luck. This time he dodged a bullet.
Yeah, he did, and we do have the caution out too, which is pretty sight to see for a lot of these guys, especially some guys were about to go a lap down there.
Definitely. Restart. That's the way Darlington is too for the front runners. Sitting in the catbird seat, all that execution just got wiped out because y'all got to pit again now. 4 tires. You don't mess around with the 2-tire stuff.
No, you don't.
At this bad boy.
Not at all. All the lead lap cars will be coming in for their service here. Get 4 fresh ones, and
you get 8. You get them.
Yeah, if you get 8 fresh tires, they'd slap on 2 tires per axle if they could. But there we see all the leaders coming down pit lane, led by the 18 and the 6. There's the 5. All 3 of them nose to tail.
This is significant here too. Really need to watch this pit road battle here because these are the. This is where you can make passes under caution too. See them all slide right in there. A lot of it's timing. If you get behind a car that you qualified ahead and they got a cross in front of you, there's all kinds of things. You look at them. Pop's excellent negotiation there.
And then we see.
Oh, and there's contact.
Yes, there's contact there.
83,
oh, and they continue to wreck. And Pops went for a spin as well. They'll sort it out here. That was it looked like the 83 of Steve Weber and the 99 of Pops there had some contact. While we're under caution, we can rewind that a little here.
That's how quickly it happens. We said something was going to happen and or could happen, and it looked so textbook that kind of lulled us to sleep there, and bam! Pro Winston Cup racing here. Good things and bad things happen.
Yeah, Milt, I re-queued it here. We're going to follow Steve Weber out of the pits and see what happened.
Got a log jam, boy.
There we see his left side's going on. Right side's completed. He's out. And there was contact with Ken Ron who spun him, and Sean got involved there. Then as Steve tried to straighten out, it's a tight pit lane. He couldn't get the whole turn in. He had to do a three-pointer. And then you see Pops there also spun in front of him, so he picked back up the one position that he lost.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like in slow-mo, and it was just 3 cars coming out at once, and then Pop's coming too. It was 4 cars looking for one spot right there.
Yeah, that just doesn't work. And as you can see back live here, Steve looks like he went back into the pits with that spin there and lighten up the tires. I think that's a smart move there to get fresh tires yet again.
Definitely. They all hit so slow, probably didn't get no damage off of this too.
Right.
Now the question is, can they get lined up properly? Because these things can create black flags if you don't get lined up properly under caution here.
And there we can see the layout of the track there, Milt. As you said, it's kind of an interesting looking track. It's narrow on one end, a little wide on the other end. Some people call it like egg-shaped oval. And the old legend is the reason turns 3 and 4 is a little tighter is there's a pond out there that the old farmer who owned the land refused to give up. So they had to tighten up the track a little there.
Excellent, man. A great call there, Greg. Y'all ain't going to be putting no track right here.
If you only knew.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, his kids would be driving a brand new Buick or Ford here. So we reset at lap 48.
Yeah, we're reset here at lap 48 of 147. Still 99 laps to go, Milt. This thing is not even close to over. And
40% race.
Yes, right. And running order is the 18 of Robert Bokum, the 6 of Mark DeSenza, the 303 of Ken Ron, who had some contact and he stayed out. So he must have determined that there wasn't too much damage there. The 99 of Pops maintained the 4th position. It's followed by the 5 of Sean Johnson, the 49 of Derby Don. 7th place is Ken Hansen. And then we got 8th, 9th, and 10th, respectively, Mike Sanders, Guy Petra, and T.G. Reese is now in the top 10, Milt.
There's some interesting chatter on the scanner. One driver says he brakes way early, and another guy said, well, I don't. And another guy said, what brakes?
Yeah, well,
All
as you said
messing
about
with each
the
other a little bit here and all
yeah,
good fun.
always, Milt. You know, like you said about FSB, these guys are a lot of these guys know each other very well. They're friends for real. They've met each other in person, a lot of them, and
Yep.
you know they all show the respect. They might rib each other a little, just like you would any of your friends. But when it's racing time, they're all very respectful. They don't want to wreck each other. They don't want to be, you know, the guy that does something, you know, a little boneheaded or anything. So I think they're all just having a little fun here.
Definitely. Nice start for the 18 and 6 there. Off we go.
And yes, we do. We're back to green flag. It's lap 49 of 147. So if we're gonna do some math here and we stay green again, Milt,
Yes.
that's about lap 83, 84.
Yes, sir. And then you're still looking at 2 more stops. So we're not even in really the area where the drivers are really concerned with that, except for the run they're on right now.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a track you really don't want to start at the last lap and work your way back, just because so much can happen. If you're in battles with someone, you're going to use up your stuff whether you like it or not. If you're clean and running by yourself, then you know, you can maybe do a little conservation. But right now, I guarantee you, both Robert and Mark, they're not conserving anything right now.
Well, and, you know, Ken Hansen breaks early, but he's broke himself up to 7th place right now. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I was just watching some Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt footage on NBC Sports Channel. They're trying to, you know, it's getting close to racing time here on real TV, so and real racing. So they're showing some highlights, and I was laughing there, you know, old Bill Elliott and Dale going at it.
Oh yeah, people. Of course, a lot of FSB guys are a little older. They're not, you know, teenagers, of course, and we all remember, you know, back into the 70s and 80s of racing, and unlike this league where everyone's, you know, pretty friendly with each other and wants the other guy to do well every night, those guys did not like each other. And
well, they're getting paid too.
And
so.
Of course, yeah, they're getting paid, but there was no love lost. There was no, you know, I'm glad he won this week. There was, you know, he's lucky I didn't wreck him this week.
Yep. Those are, you know, racers are a strange breed. Growing up with my dad, I can attest to that. He's one crazy son of a gun, man. You gotta be like that.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Look at 200 miles an hour.
You gotta be. You gotta be.
No big deal.
There we saw some good racing there. The Derby Don and Ken Hansen were battling away. Ken got a little underneath Derby Don, but again, this is a very difficult to pass underneath. And Derby kept his momentum up, kept clean, and Ken had to back off and get behind him again. And let's see if he makes another attempt at it.
Yeah, and that allows T.G. Reese, and he's crawled his way into the top 10 with a solid run, and now he's watching the action there. And I lost my train of thought there, so we'll move on.
But it looks like the 191 of Michael Sanders is getting into the mix. Looks like we're under caution again here too, Milt.
Well, Den was in the pits, so trying to look and see.
It looked like he blew up. Looked like he blew up there.
Pruitt's got some severe damage here. Let's take a look. From Sugar Land, Texas.
Yeah, and rewinding this as we are under caution right now, looking back at the 16 car, he's looking good here. Kind of minding his own business toward the back of the field. but it looked like the engine let go. Let's as he came around crossing the start finish line.
Done blowed up right there. Tony.com car.
Yeah, it just
was
let
not
go
gonna
right
make
as he
it
crossed the
today.
start finish line, Milt. That's a tough break for Dan. As we go back live, you can see green flag or yellow flag stops have commenced again.
Another chance for track position here. Everything about Darlington. We see the action of the last time, so.
Yeah, and we see the main leaders here: Robert Bokum, Mark DeSenza, Sean Johnson, all pitting and all coming out. But it looks like the 151 might have taken 2 tires there, Milt.
We're going to keep an eye on Den, and they're still working on the car there.
Well, it might not have been a complete motor let go. You know, these again, these NR 2003 mechanics are wizards. If they can fix a car, they'll bang it out. They'll do some tuning on the motor or on the drivetrain or whatever needs to be done there to clutch. If they can fix it, they'll get you back out there. I think the 151 took 2 tires, Milt. I don't know if that's the wise move here at Darlington. We ever see some of the lap down cars going into the pits for their service.
We've got Dan Francisconi. It looks like that motor let go up in the booth here. What happened to your car there, Dan?
Well, I was just heading down the front straight there, following the pack, and I was a lap down, and I was hoping maybe there'd be, some guys would drop out, and I could get into the top 10 somehow, and she just cut off midway down the front straight, and I pulled her down. I didn't want to cause a caution, but wasn't close enough to drift to the pits.
Yeah, it's a tough break. Was it a motor that let go, or was it another issue?
I didn't look at it when I disconnected, but it just, like I said, it just cut off. It didn't make any fluttering sound, or it didn't pop. It just, like the ignition went off. Probably ignition.
Yeah, it looks like Race is saying that it was a valve. That's a rare one. You don't see valve too often, but it must have been one of the valves must have let go on you.
Yeah, we weren't over revving or anything, so it just must have been a bad part. We'll just have to take our lumps and move on to the next race.
Boy, there was contact there in the pits again.
Yes, there
on the
was.
broadcast.
Yeah, it's a tight pit lane, isn't it, Dan?
Oh yeah, it's tough getting in there, and then there's not a whole lot of room. It's like 1.5 lanes. It really feels like it's kind of narrow. So I almost had contact. I think with the 72 when our last time in, they were just dropping jacks and getting ready to go, and I had to pit right in front of them. So I actually ended up stopping and letting them go. But you just got to give and take, just like on a track.
And I also think as the leaders went in for this caution, the 151, a guy Petra must have taken 2 tires because he was definitely behind the leaders, and now he's in front of them. The only way I could think that you could get such a good run out of the pits there was taking 2. I don't know if that's going to be something that he's going to regret in about 5, 6, 7 laps from now.
Yeah, that's about all it'll take because on 4 fresh tires, about 15, 16 laps into the run, I know my car was didn't know whether it wanted to be loose in or loose off. As soon as you go put the power back to it, definitely it wanted to turn around. So you had to really feather it and be careful, the last end of that run.
Here we see also the 2 car there is a lap down, and with 2 tires on the leader, this could be an opportunity for him to get that lap back.
Just might be. And the 2 tires, though, might end up costing big.
You can also see the 49 at Derby Dawn is also a lap down, and that's kind of interesting at this track. Derby's a pretty good racer, and looks like he's not coming up to the front just yet, which I don't understand why he wouldn't want to get up, though. Now he's coming up. Okay. He was just laying back in the weeds a little.
That pit stop was sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Then those green flag stop. Oh, okay, we're getting ready to go green here. You have to tell us about those green flag stops. It had to be hairy with cold, worn out tires here.
Oh, absolutely. I could see my teammates coming up behind me, all three of them in a row, and I knew I didn't want them to catch me in 3 and 4 because that's where I was really having trouble. And so I managed to get through there, and right out of 4, I pulled down to the inside and let them all three go. And yeah, it's tough. I mean, there was a few cars in front of me at that point, and they were really slipping and sliding, and they turn to the left, they turn to the right, and they're kind of out of control there for a little bit. and so are you. So it's almost a wreck waiting to happen every lap at that point.
We got Wayne Osborne trying to stay on the lead lap here, and he'd like a caution. And also the 49 at Derby Dawn and tail end here.
Yeah, they both were able to get by Guy, but he's pulled away from the Robert and Mark. But I think this is a perfect example of when Robert and Mark know that he's on 2 tires.
Yep.
They're not in a hurry to do anything. In a few more laps, he's going to come back to him. At least that's what they're hoping. And of course, if you're Derby Don and you're Wayne, you really want to run hard here to try to get some separation, just in case the caution comes out. You can gain that lap back and be part of the mix again.
Yeah, I would guess they're fully aware of who's got 2 tires, and they are definitely not going to push it. They're going to got their eye on the prize.
Yeah, and it looks like the caution is back out, and that's going to mean Derby and Wayne will get their lap back because it looks like they took the caution in front of the leaders.
Steve Weber is around here. Take a look at it. Holy cow, and there's several cars there. That was Steve Weber and T.G. Reese and Mike Pruitt. Mike Pruitt with a severely damaged car. Looks like he got loose in front of the 53 and the 83, and they got collected up there. Tough luck for those guys. They were running in the top 12 there. Clearly not what Mike wanted to do. He's a clean driver, long time here from Sugarland, Texas, and but you can see the rear end there.
Yeah.
Once the rear end's beat up,
oh man,
you're just holding on. And
yeah, that's a tough break for Webb and for TG, who are both running really well.
Racing.
Hopefully they can bang out some of that damage and didn't get any damage to the engine, because obviously engine damage here, and might as well just park it.
Well, then being in that Boca Motorsports racing channel when you guys are racing, what's it like with I mean, that's a really powerful team. A lot of sharing, obviously, and strategy, and pumping each other up.
Oh yeah, it's all about strategy from the drop of the flag. Everybody's talking to each other. Everybody's comparing, just working together. I mean, it's amazing how much. Sometimes you can't, when there's a caution, you can't hear your spotter say, go around this guy or let that guy go, because strategy is so important.
Yeah, and you all want to get on the same page, and depending on where your race is at, and they're all pitting here again. Another chance for track position here.
Yes, it is, and we're gonna follow these guys around as they go into the pits and see what happens here. As you can see,
it's a long,
still lots of laps to go here. What I don't see is the 151. I don't know if he.
Well, he didn't pit the last time, so but
Maybe the rest
this
of the
time
field
he might have
stayed out
lost.
then, Milt.
That's what it's looking like.
That's really interesting. I know me. If I was not in the lead, maybe the first top 1, 2, or 3, I think I would be definitely going in here and trying to see if I could take advantage of some leaders with old tires and me with fresh tires. But the running order now is the 18, the 6, and the 303, 1, 2, and 3. And Guy Petra, who was the leader when the caution came out, is back down to 8th. But he's got 4 fresh ones now, so maybe his strategy paid off, Milt.
Yeah, and you got TG in front of him. I don't know if he pitted or not, but he definitely could have got damage in that altercation there. Joe Cutter up to the 10th spot there, battling all night. And this race is a battle. It's fatiguing. It's mentally challenging. It's, bladder challenging.
Hey, can you give out the address where this can be viewed live at Twitch TV? Is that on right now?
It's on live on Twitch. If you go to the FSB homepage and click on FSB Live, it'll take you right to it.
Excellent.
And looking at the running order here, Milt, I'm kind of puzzled because it's still showing Derby Don a lap down, and I know he was only 1 lap down when the...
That's what I saw.
So I don't know if we got a glitch here, or if somehow he lost the lap again, which I wouldn't know how that would happen.
Unless he was 2 laps down, and I know the other car that was in front, can't remember, what was definitely a lap down.
Yeah, Wayne was also a lap down. He's showing on the lead lap now. Derby Don showing the only car right now is a lap down.
He must have been 2 laps down.
Must have
so
been.
He's got 1 more. With a good car and that driver, this thing's not out of reach yet. Plenty of laps. Not even the halfway point.
Yeah, we'll see. Now Robert's up at the front, but he's on slightly older tires. I think since Derby was a lap down, I'm sure he went into the pits to get 4 fresh ones. No reason not to if you're the only car a lap down. And that could be a helpful thing for him to get ahead of Robert and see if another quick caution comes out, he can get back on the lead lap.
Well, and even in all this melee, these guys are still clutching. As we got the pace car going off, they're not clutching anymore, but still thinking about saving fuel all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, especially those Boca Motorsports guy. Robert, I know, always preaches about saving fuel, saving tires, saving fuel, saving tires, and it obviously works because he's one of the best in the league. He wins races left and right, Cup Series, Truck Series, late models, Cup Aero 88, you name it, he's won in it.
Yeah, and they give Derby the spot right away. That's class, and that's also knowing that Derby's got a good car, and there's no sense in fighting it. In FSB racing, there are no lucky dogs. It's too much work for the admin, because most admins are trying to race too. You got to earn it. It's old school here. You got to earn it back,
Yeah.
but you also get. It's also, if you got a piece of junk, but you're trying to get points and you're a lap down, then you get out of the way, and you let the whole pack go by. And so it's communication, and they knew this was they planned this out and let it happen.
Absolutely, and that's the sportsmanship that's involved in this league as well. We have the no passing to the backstretch rule. Obviously Robert has no need to race Derby Don right now anyways. And at Darlington, you gotta have give and take, or you'll just be driving around under caution the whole race.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he said it right there that those top three have no race with Derby right now. They'll let him go clean and and let him run, let him go, and he's going to run as hard as he can, hoping for a caution. So in the meantime, they're just running their race.
So as we're looking at these guys with a few laps, what was the progression of how the car behaved from cold tires on restarts through your run, Dan?
Well, it wasn't bad right off the start on cold tires for me. It might have been for some
Sorry
people.
to break in there, Dan, but there was just a huge wreck.
We got a big wreck here. Sorry, Dan.
Let's take that. We'll pick that up later.
Yeah, definitely. We were thinking positively there, but
Well, we stayed.
Yeah, let's rewind and take a look. It looks like the 9 of Henson got into the 83 of Steve Weber, and man, those were some hard. Those guys are probably out of the race. Let's take a look one more time at this. See, the 9 went a little low, caught Steve, and unfortunately, it looks like someone else also got caught up in that.
TG Reese. Well, TG kind of dodged one bullet there. He didn't dodge that one there, but that's typical turn 1 there, because I'm sure that's not what Ken wanted to do. He's an applicant, but he's also Kelly's got a lot of skills, and just trying to set Steve up to get him probably coming out of 2, and also there was a coagulation there with Wayne Osborne. You can always see that car in front of you, and that's probably an area you want to back off there, but that's how fast it happens. Bada bing.
Yeah, I just think he misjudged that a little bit, and you do got to crack that throttle a little bit coming into that corner, because you don't know what the other guys, especially when they were that close. The 83 and the 2 are pretty close, and one of them's going to crack it. They're not going to fly through there wide open, so I think it was just a little misjudgment.
Yeah, it looks like it just caught a little piece of them, and we're here looking at TG, and you can see he was quite a ways back, but you can see, as Milt was saying, how quick it comes up on you once they start wrecking.
My dad used to say, "Look," I'd be like, "What do you look at as far as you can see?" You're always trying to keep your eyes as far as you can see out of that cockpit. The rest of it you can catch with your peripheral vision. You always want to see what those other cars do in 2, 3. Easy to say here from the beer booth here, but
well, you're absolutely right. Like when you had TG on that still right there, I'd be looking clear around the corner, and scanning the entire line just for a puff of smoke just to see.
yeah, sometimes even if you see it, you still can't do anything about it, but it's just that kind of experience with hard racing in close quarters.
Looks like the pace car is off again, Milt, and
Steve Weber is done.
Derby Don got his lap back.
Yes, he did.
And
he's got a piece that is unscathed, so
yeah, he's now in 12th on the lead lap. He's, I'm sure, very happy. He's probably pumped up now. He's probably looking to get back up there now and into the mix as we complete lap 73 of 147, about just right at halfway here.
And you can't imagine how cool it is to have a teammate like him, because he's so right all the time as far as just having fun and great attitude and skill, and he takes on rookies that are new. Rookie division is a name, but sometimes you have guys that are just passing through, or you still have to earn your stripes here at FSB, and but the guys that are, he spends a lot of time teaching and training, and I get in test sessions and I let him, kind of like Slim used to do, he can critique critique you, and when you're not feeling it some night, say, "Hey, Derby, get in the car and watch me a few laps." You're gonna get a second or two, you know.
Oh, absolutely. He's always willing to help. He has a great way of explaining it to you as well, so you can kind of understand. You know, he doesn't speak in, racinese or anything. He tell you,
he speaks Canadian. But.
Yeah, he speaks Canadian, so that's already difficult as it is. But he's very patient. He's looking to help anyone who needs to ask, whether you're a rookie, an applicant, or a pro. And
he helps everybody. When I first came in, he helped me out a few times at Michigan. I was over driving turn 1, and he'd get in the car with me and tell me, "See that light right there? That's where you left. You let that car settle down and get down to the bottom, and then you get back to the gas." And yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a good guy. He's a funny guy, and he's a demo derby driver. What more can you say about someone? Got to be a little crazy too there to do those things. But let's recap this running order. It's has scrambled up just a bit. We have the 5 of Sean Johnson now on the point and leading his first laps of the race. Guy is now up to second. Guy's been up to the front, back to the rear, and back up to the front again. 88 of Joe Cutter now is in third. The 6 of Descenza is now back to fourth. Ken is fifth, and you know who I don't see, Milt, is the 18 car.
Yeah, where is he?
The 18 car must have did a late pit stop there, Milt. He's back in 12th, the last car on the lead lap. So maybe some strategy playing out now with halfway through the race.
68, if you add 74 and 68 or 75, it can be real close to 147. So
I think he's trying to make this race on one stop now.
Well, and if he gets a quick caution, then next time he'll stay out, you know.
Very interesting, but now he's back. He's back with a lot of cars that he hasn't raced with all race, and they haven't raced with him, and he'll need to really be focused here.
I'm thinking he might have got caught speeding on pit lane.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that as you guys follow the action.
Well, check that out as we go back green here.
And look at that.
Yeah, that doesn't fit into his strategy. At a track like this, he wants to be up front. If he's at the end of the line, he got caught speeding.
And as we go back to green flags, the 5 leads him back, 151 right behind him. Trying to look a little inside there already. And Guy, he was riding with you in that Most Sport road course race there, Milt, and you saw how he can wheel a car.
And he's been driving that NAGP with us against the world's best Porsche drivers and with Team FSB, and he's a great driver and a great guy, and his progression in road racing and racing altogether is pretty staggering. Watching Robert Bocum, I saw the pit stop. He's letting everybody by, so he got to end the longest line. Is what he got.
Yeah, that's a rare mistake by Robert Bocum in the pits. He's usually right on the marks.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, that this pit's tough. It's a tough deal right there. So he probably just got caught, and there could have been a little congestion. I don't know, I didn't see the entrance or anything or where it was, but it happens.
Yeah, once you get on pit road at Darlington, it's long and 45 miles an hour. You got the pressure of trying to execute with all these guys around you and make a difference, which when everybody's pushing the envelope, times you can push too far.
Yeah, that's true.
And knowing him, he was probably still on the radio talking strategy.
But as we see him now live, he's falling back from the pack too. I don't know if he's doing this intentionally or if there's something off in the car and he's trying to hash it out as he stays green here. This is
On the
very
replay.
un-Bokum like.
On the replay, I saw him weaving back and forth, and he usually doesn't do that. I do it just for fun and to psych myself out. It has no real tire benefit as far as heating your tires up in the game, but it's kind of one of my preparation things and that I do, but he rarely does that, so interesting there.
Yeah, I also know from speaking with him about his wheel, he likes to calibrate his wheel before every session, practice session, qualifying, happy hour, and race. I wonder if maybe he had a calibration issue and he's seeing what he can and can't do.
How about that number 2, Wayne Osborne? Started last. Dead last. 7th place right now. Very nice.
Yeah, and fought his way back onto the lead lap as well.
Another Canada. As we used to call them when we started our league, there was like 3 or 4 Canadians, and I started calling them Canadas. I don't know why, but it stuck.
And back to the front too, Milt. We got the 88 of Joe Cutter now taking the lead, followed by the 5 of Sean Johnson, and 151 of Guy Petra is now back in 3rd. How about that? How about give shout out for Joe? He's doing great tonight.
Yeah, Joe is always a good finisher. If he doesn't get in a, he's kind of like me, where he likes to take it easy at the start and then show what he's got late in the race, make his move, and he's really up against the wall there. Woo! Every time you get up against that turn 2, 3 wall at Darlington, you're like out of the gas there, and these guys are sweating in their little rooms.
Joe got a little loose there, Milt.
Sweating, their brows are wet.
And Sean and
looks like Mark DeSenza.
Yeah, Sean and Mark were able to get by Joe as he got loose coming out of 4. He's falling back now to 3rd, and top 2 have kind of separated with him getting loose there, and I think the rest of the field might have saw that and kind of gave him some room to gather it back up as well.
Yeah, I don't think Bauckham has an issue with his car. I think he got put back there by that pit lane infraction, and I think he's just tailing the group, anticipating an accident, and doesn't want to be right on it. I think that's what he's doing.
You're exactly right. He's still on the lead lap, so long way to go. It's definitely not panic time.
No, I agree. It's not panic time, but this is foreign racing, though, for him. He doesn't know. He's not used to driving at the back of the pack, so that could be a little different for him.
Especially what the viewers have seen here, where it's been the Bauckham Watkins Valentine's Day love affair. Pun intended.
Yeah, they were teammates last year, and now they're rivals for sure.
Yeah, that's all about just trying new stuff, and the great thing, the competition and the respect, and they're not even on the same team, and they're still talking in the race. When it benefits both of them, then when they get to the end, just like any team is, a couple to go, then it's okay. You and I, we worked ourselves up. Me and Jim Ray been doing that for 10 years. It's all good till 2 to go, and your ass is mine, or vice versa.
Yeah, and as
we're
we see,
seeing this green flag racing.
Yeah, it's some tight racing here, and these guys nose to tail 1 through 12.
Yeah, this is, these aren't computer cars, man. Every one of these drivers are driving the wheels off, and it ain't easy, man.
Now, I'm surprised they're not slipping and sliding a little bit yet. They look like they're holding pretty good lines, but pretty soon, you watch that exit of 4. No, that exit, 4. There's going to be some slip and sliding from the middle of that corner off.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking about that right before you guys pitted on that green flag stop. That's that memory never leaves you when you drive this track. Eventually, all of a sudden, and you never know when that. You're looking at your fuel window and
Oh,
your
Ken
tire
got loose
window,
there.
and you're like, all of a sudden, that one time you drive it in there, the same you drove it in there the last lap, then and you're like, oh shit.
Ken
Yeah,
got really loose there in
starting
front of
left, you
Robert.
start.
Saved it nicely. That's a great save. That is not easy to do at Darlington, and he keeps it going, and then we stay green.
Yeah, it wants to turn left on you, and you find yourself. I hear him on the radio saying, "I'm turning right more than I'm turning left," and I know, oh boy, I better be careful.
Uh-oh. Derby
Whoa,
Don
whoa,
spinning.
they're swerving out of 4.
Derby Don went for a spin, and it looks like they're staying green yet again. This is a stingy track on yellows.
Just like Dan said, man, this is right when all of a sudden it grabs you and got a whole different car now, man.
Yep, right there, right there. Okay, now Balkan's making his move. Look, he's got by 3 cars, plus Derby spinning, and he's checking out. He's leaving. He's going.
Well, and being privy to that Vulcan Racing channel, seen him architect these kind of races before.
Absolutely. I mean, his brain never stops talking strategy. He's on top of the game.
I mean, this guy's gotten. He's so close to the big show, in real racing.
Yeah.
Today it's all about money, so it's going to be a tough road for him, but he's got the talent. Cars, he's gotten tests and trucks, and the competition at that level is times, even though you see competition, but he's doing that in the real arena, and
yeah, he's got multiple rides in late model series coming up this year, and he's got to look at a truck. They're looking at a sponsor, and if they can grab one, he might have another shot. So fingers are crossed for him, man. Got to give it to him.
Oh yeah, that's really exciting when a guy that's that you can race against on your sim is actually going to be in a real ride at a real track that we've all know very well. He was talking about the Martinsville race coming up. He said 200 late model cars show up for 30 something 40 something positions. That's not an easy way to make a living.
The dude says, well, I'm in a real car. You're like,
Let's recap the running order here as we get to lap 95 of 147. 6 of Mark DeSenza is back in the lead, followed by the 5 of Sean Johnson, the 88 of Joe Cutter, and the 303 of Ken Ron. They're all fairly close to each other, and the 191 of Guy Pico less than 2 seconds off the lead. So they're all running very well. The top 10 separated by just 8 seconds now. When before Meld, after that green flag stop, we saw how scattered the top 10 was.
Well, you never got a chance to pick because we had that early caution there, but my pick, Mark DeSenza, is running very well, and really, it's a war. It's a war. It's not a battle. It's a war. So at Darlington, you may lose a couple battles, but what you want to do is win the war.
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of those you really have to drive the track and not worry about what anyone else is doing, short of wrecking.
Pumps Markson, 5th or 6th, all night, solid. He's the senior member of this league, and we give him a lot of shit about it. But to be honest, Tuesday night at Mossport, his busy schedule there, and dude was on it. But for a server glitch, there was going to be a battle. All of us for B4, it was going to be epic.
Yeah, that was a great 4-car battle there between you and Pops and Guy, I believe, and Sean.
Michael Sanders in fourth. You know, we saw him almost lose it there. They have a couple little bobbles in the pits, but now he's solidly in fourth. Taking a look at the 303, which that's just another guy that, where'd he come from? Like, Kevin Harvick,
Yeah, the Sean and Ken and Mike Sanders, they're all nose to tail. And there's been some separation now as we look at the running order. See the top 7, then there's a 5-second gap back to the 8th place car, and there's Robert Bochum. He's about a little over 5 seconds off the lead now. So, as Den said, he's making his way up steadily.
Yeah, he won't burn his tires up to try to catch him. He's looking at how many laps are left, what's going on, and they're still talking strategy. He is still connected to those front 3. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh yeah.
They will get a caution, and he will get there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're still going to have to make 2 more stops. They're going to have to stop here pretty soon, and Derby Dawn is pitting.
Yeah, of course. Remember, we saw him spin, so that might have not only taken a little damage on the car, but also might have wiped out some of the tire wear, and that's a good move, I think, on his part.
Yeah, it's still 2 stops, so might as well don't wreck the car,
Absolutely. And we saw just a couple of laps ago, as we were talking about that, Ken Ron got a little Darlington stripe.
Yeah, it looked like he came in there a little hot, and I'm pretty sure that was a pucker moment because he almost got into his teammate Sean Johnson, and that's what I would have been thinking.
Oh yeah, there's nothing. It's bad enough when you get involved in a wreck how you feel, but when you wreck a teammate, man, it's a really sinking feeling. And we see the 6 of Mark DeSenza continuing to lead. He's pulled away from the 5 and the 303. He's run an absolute perfect race so far, Milt.
Derby down 2 laps now. He's going to have the fastest car on the track, but...
Yeah, he's going to need a couple cautions to have any chance at this now.
Yeah, Mark's got this track down. Just listening to him on the radio, he's really, really confident. When he qualified, he drove it. He said, when I drove it into turn 3, it was either going to get a great lap or I was going to wreck it. And he just... Right now, he's doing a great job of managing his tires. I can't believe he's going that fast.
Oh, and there goes Ken again. He got up a little too hot. He tried to make a pass. Oh, and there's contact with the 191. Man, that's some tough breaks there. Once you get out of shape here, it's really hard to gather in, but we stay green.
Wayne Osborne is on pit road, so he's hoping for that sucker to stay green. Cutter is pitting.
And the 5 car in the pits, Milt.
Yeah, I think they got a pit, and then they're going to have to pit again. There's nobody that could go to one more stop, so you're going to start to see them.
Yeah, and there we see also the 88 of Joe Cutter also on pit lane.
Green flag stops.
Yeah, green flag stops yet again in this race. This is the second time we've seen green flag stops. And as I said, in that first round of green flag stops, the field really spread apart. So let's see what happens after this one. And here's where Robert has to make some decisions. He pitted, obviously, and got the penalty. Does he pit with these guys, or does he stay out now with guys having fresh tires? He might have to come in now, too.
Yeah, and then you're looking at green flag to be 138 of 147, so lots of strategy there, too.
Yeah, and tires are a premium here. I don't see how he can stay out.
Well, Bookham's made so much track position already that he doesn't need to make he'll lose it if he stays out.
Yeah, as you can see,
I can't see.
As we look at the running order, we can see he's up to 4th, 8 seconds off the lead now. Mark's pulled out to over a 6-second lead, and it looks like Mark might be in the pits now.
Your leader, Mark DeSenza, 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, and there we see him. He's got that number 1 pit stall, which is probably a decent advantage here at Darlington. So you can just mash the gas and get out of the pit lane without having to crawl and tight narrow. So he's gone in. He's clean. He's already got the right sides done, going to the left sides. Ken Ron has assumed the lead, followed by the 191, and now Robert Bokum up to third, or just a second. Less than 2 seconds off the lead.
They're all pitting now. The leader dictates, and they know every lap they're out there under green, they're losing time. Yeah, Mark had a couple fatties rolled for this one, and he is executing.
Yeah, and there we see the 151. .191 on pit lane. 303 on pit lane.
I mean, you just watch this, and it's just like this ballet you're watching. But you cannot, unless you do this stuff, you don't realize the skill involved. 151 pitting. They're just looking like they're just going through the motions. It is so hard to execute at this level.
9 of Ken Hansen also in. He had a little minor incident where he got a little loose, spun the car, got it going again. He's back in, and there we see, I think, the 53 car TG also in. The 303 is coming out, and this is the 191.
Yeah, it is, Milt. You know what it's like. You're on bald tires. You're fighting to keep the car on the track, and then you got to get into the pits as fast as you can. And that car just wants to get upset with you. You know, when you start breaking it down and heading for that pit lane, braking and turning, and oh man, it becomes a handful.
And we see the 18 now is on pit lane, Milt. So he did follow Den's advice, and he didn't stay out on those older tires when everyone else is getting the fresh ones.
4 tires, he's away.
Yeah, nice stop. There was a good stop there, and let's hopefully no speeding penalties this time.
If you look at that exit there, and you know you're almost flat out, but not quite. If you tried to just mash it there, you'd spin coming out. So you're in third gear, feathering that gas pedal, and you see all of them cut right at that line at the same place. If they cut another 4 feet to the right, they get a end of longest line there, or a black flag, because you can't enter the track any earlier than that. But they know right where they can enter the track there and cut that line.
And what's interesting now, Milt, is that Derby Don is on the lead lap. He went in early, and with those fresh tires, he was able to gain a lot of ground. And as these guys made the pit stops, he stayed out, of course. And now he's up to 7th on the lead lap. How about that?
I've seen Damien Gottstiller do that. I've seen Rick Johnson do that. When you thought, that guy's, I don't have to worry about that guy. And then all of a sudden, there they are. He needs the caution.
As we go back up to the front, it looks like the 6 and the 5 now are in a nose-to-tail battle. Separated about 5 seconds from 3rd and 4th place. Mark is
I'll be right back.
Mark's having to deal with a lap car as well.
Yeah, they're going to get by TG, and I don't think they're really battling. I think they're talking right now, and they're hooked up nose to tail so they can get a quick draft. They want to get by TG in the 53 right there, and then just get as far away from the pack as they can.
Yeah, we'll see if TG puts up a fight or if he's going to give ground here. So far, he's staying out front of him.
Yeah, it's just such a tough place to pick a spot to pass because it's slick and, there's a whole lot going on and they're going fast. They're really close. Nobody wants to make a mistake. You don't want to push it. And so they're just going to look for a yield is what they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a track where it's hard to let someone pass, too. even on the straightaways, the way the banking is here, if you get down too far off the track, you really get upset.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You
There
gotta
see Sean and
yeah, I
Mark.
find my
Oh my!
right
This
there.
is,
Look at that.
they're battling away. It looks like Sean now has taken the lead over Mark, but got a little bobble there, and Mark coming back hard on the outside. And they go in side by side. That's really not what you want to do if you're the leaders right now. They sorted out, though, it looks like. Wow, that's some aggressive driving there by Sean. Are you surprised at that, then?
I'm a little surprised, but they're racers, you know, and they know, I think they have a lot of faith in each other and confidence, and I think they're talking as they're doing this. Believe me, they're talking as they're doing this.
Wow, I'm just watching that on delay. That's a great pass, man.
That was a really gutsy pass, and like Dan said, a lot of Mark and Sean both had to have a lot of faith in each other. They could hold those lines, which is not easy to do under the best circumstances at Darlington, much less dealing with the lap car trying to get by him as well. That was a little heart rate time.
Right, and you know, there's no pecking order at Falcon Motorsports. It's if Sean had a run, take it. You know, if you got to run, anybody's got to run, you take it. But I mean, you could just see the skill on how they did that in those slickest of corners without contact.
Yeah, you're all the way out of the gas right there, but you have to perfectly, when you go into turn 3 and you know you got a car on the side, the guy on the outside has to know exactly the corner speed he needs and when to lift and brake, and so does the guy on the inside. And to execute that side by side and make it look like that so easy is absolutely, breathtaking.
And there we can see TG pulled down on the inside there on the straight and gave him ground. That's some good sportsmanship by TG after running pretty hard out front of him.
Yeah, they're trying to get points and also be clean. And when you're done, when you're out of a chance for the win, you need to get out of the way, and that's pretty par for the course for the members here in this league.
And that also allowed Mark, though, to get around Sean again and kind of put a little distance behind Sean, and we'll see how long that lasts. Sean, see if he can reel him back in.
Hey, in this league, any given night, any one of these drivers can win, but you also have bad nights. So, respect is earned over time, and by giving and taking, and give and take is one of the most important things about racing.
Yeah, and as we go back 6 seconds behind Sean is about 5.5 seconds behind Sean is Pops in third, and the 88 of Joe Cutter in fourth. They're in contact with each other. And then the fifth place car of Ken Ron is about 3 seconds behind them. And then we got the 18 of Robert Bokum still back in sixth and over 12 seconds off the lead. He's going to have to make up some ground somehow, some way, if there's no caution. I don't know if he can do it.
Needs a caution.
Yeah, he's hoping for a caution because he'll just burn himself up trying to cut that gap down.
Yeah, that shows you one pit road speed penalty with a guy that had the speed to win this race. How hard he's got to struggle to make up that gap. It's just. And that's magnified at Darlington.
Oh, absolutely. And if you look at it, if that didn't happen, they'd have 4 out of the top 5 right now, guaranteed.
Pops Markson in third there. Once again, gotta mention him. How about Joe Cutter in fourth? Choo-choo train-like run. Just
Joe's
not much noise.
Joe's had a great run. He's led a couple laps, and he's right behind Pops. If Pops, gets a Darlington stripe himself or slips up, he'll take that position from him.
Oh yeah, I got wicked sideways before my motor blew in front of the 99, and he cut me some slack, and I got wicked sideways coming out of 4 in front of Joe Cutter in the 88, and he backed off and didn't turn me, and I pulled down and let him go, and they gave me the wave, but yeah, hats off. There's a lot of talented drivers out here.
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks, Milt? Pops is wheeling that car here.
Well, I think the earlier part of the season, Pops was having computer upgrading, like us old folks. We, fortunately, we got a lot of tech savvy people like Dan to help us out and paint cars for us, and because there's no way I could do all that tech stuff without, and I wouldn't even be on the track without all the help from the league and people that know better and have taught me. I couldn't even turn the damn computer on when I started, Which button is it,
You know how to open that Budweiser, though, don't you, Milt?
Yeah, you heard that, huh?
Just giving you a hard time, Milty. This portion of the race is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers.
This Bud's for you.
And there we see back to the lead. We see the 6 and the 5 are back sort of together there and trying to put a lap on the 9 of Ken Hansen. And again, here we go again with this give ground or race hard. It's if you're on the lead lap and the leaders are coming up behind you, you have that urge to fight it, but that can always that can end badly.
Well, does Ken because Ken had got into some misfortune there. Does he? Or
that's right, Mel.
He undamaged, and he did get some damage there, or we're thinking, and now the leaders are taking a look, and
you can see Sean was able to get by him, and also, Milt, let's remember there is a 2 incident rule here at FSB. Ken did get into the back of I think it was Webb, so that counted as his first incident. He's got to keep that in mind too here, as the leaders did get by him. That if there's a second incident, he's parking the car, and that would obviously end his night. And if he did get into him and didn't, then he's going to be sitting. He's going to learn as an applicant the hard way.
Yeah, and those are kind of, it goes either way. I remember the first time I never thought it would happen to me because I look at myself as a clean driver. And when Rick Johnson was with the ECR, I got an incident early on a checkup at Indianapolis, got no damage. So I had one, and this is when it was first implemented. And then here we are in the last lap, and I had worked Rick Johnson. I had him. I came out of the corner. He got loose in front of me, but he was, I got into him, and you got a long straightaway at Indy, so I had a little bit of time to think, what am I gonna do? And I had to pull over in second place, and stop, and I wasn't planning on racing a full season there, but at the same time, I was able to race. If I would have raced the next race, I was able to race because when I got my second incident, I pulled over, and it was a tough decision. If you don't pull over, then they're not going to take the race away from you, but then you don't get to race the next race.
Yeah, and if you're racing for points and championships, missing the races guarantees you no championship. If you take the last place points or take your medicine on and park the car, you're still going to get points, and you're going to be able to race the next race and continue on your quest. I was kind of in a similar situation last night with the Rookie Truck Series at California. I had just a bonehead spin at the beginning of the race all by myself, but I brought out the caution. And then right toward the end, with about 6 laps to go, I had some contact, and pulled it in the pits, and I watched that replay probably about a dozen times. And as Jim always says, if you're not sure,
Yep.
it's your incident. And I elected to retire from that race. I finished last, and I was up to top 5 running, and it was really a bitter pill to swallow. But I don't want to be parked next week. That's for sure.
Well, you did the right thing. You did the right thing there.
Yep. Yeah, and even if you don't, and you get parked for a week, it's not the end of the world. It's just a rule to, as we got green flag stops, we got Mark DeCinza on pit road, your leader. As they're starting here, we'll get back to that.
Yeah,
Session 2 tires for the 6. 2 tires for the 6. They've only got 11 laps to go here.
That's an interesting call.
Move.
Yes, it is. And
11 laps is a long way at this track.
Yeah, as we were discussing it a little earlier, the 5 car did a short pit, it looked like, and he's back out. He's in 8th position, a lap down. But as these guys will all have to make a stop, he's gonna get that lap back, of course. And maybe that was the right move by Sean. We'll see how this works out. The 2 tires on the 6 and the 4 tire early pit on the 5s.
Yeah, this is the math worked it out to where we've had nothing but exciting finishes here in these broadcasts, and we're expecting the same.
We see the 6 car coming back in, and I think that only means one thing, that he got a black flag. And we'll see. We'll stay with it to see if he just does a drive-through. If he does the drive-through, that means he was speeding on pit road. And under green conditions, the penalty is drive-through. If you're under caution, it's an EOLL, which is a little more palatable. But, man, this drive-through is, that was a drive-through. And that basically ends his race, unfortunately.
One of the best drivers I've ever raced against, and that just shows you how it can happen to you, and it can happen to you again. And that's the pressure of FSB racing. Ken Ron is pitting this lap.
Ken Ron pitting from the lead. The 18 of Robert Bokum, as you can see, is going around him. He's staying out so far, and he's assumed the lead.
Come on, Ken.
Let's see how
he's had some bad luck.
Yeah, Ken's had a lot of bad luck. Let's see if he can avoid this tough pit road and get back out there. Only 7 laps remaining here, so he's got it. He cannot make any mistakes.
They all got to stop. What are they going to do? The later you go, you might try no tires. If you can get down to a splash, but I think they're all at a half a can right now.
And we see Ken in. He's taking his right sides. See if he takes 4. I would take 2 if I was him.
Yeah,
and he did. He did take 2.
Come on, son.
So a lot of strategy playing out here as these laps wind down. 6 laps to go. Bokum's still in the lead.
They all got to stop. What are they going to do?
And I guarantee you, Ken was very, very, very aware of his speed on pit road, knowing that probably 2 of his teammates got busted,
Exactly.
and it affected their night.
Here we see
the moment gets a hold of you, man, and it makes you do things you practiced for a month for, and then you blow it. That's your foot starts shaking, and these guys are fired up, man.
Yeah, let's follow Robert here and see, with 5 laps to go, when is he going to come in or not? Did he milk it? Was he laying back to milk some of that fuel? If he did, that's incredible. I didn't think there's any way he can stay out here.
You can clutch, but it's really hard to clutch at Darlington. But you can do it.
You see, in second place is the 151 of Guy Petra, 6 seconds behind Robert. I don't believe he's pitted either. And the 191 of Mike Sanders, I don't know if he's pitted either. So top 3 seem to have stayed out.
Scanner is still clean, no pitting yet. They got to stop, or they're hoping for a caution. I'm not hearing them clutching.
He continues to stay out, and there's 4 laps remaining. Boy, I'd be very impressed if he stays out and doesn't run out of fuel. That would just be another testament to his skill.
Well, unless I'm missing something, I didn't see it with the numbers, but if I'm wrong, because I miss that stuff sometimes. We're mowing down the 18 pack here right now as we speak.
As he comes around and completes another circuit, there's 3 laps remaining. He continues to lead. He's actually stretched out the lead. I think Guy is in conservation mode as well, just trying to finish the race out. He's got a 10-second lead on 3rd place, so I'm sure he knows that. And I'm sure
he must have missed those stops.
Robert did let Pops go there. I don't know if he's slowing down and really going into just trying to get around the track without getting into anyone or anyone getting into him.
Got a
2 laps to go.
5 second lead.
That's just an amazing run by Robert. Let's see if he can pull it off. If you run out of gas here, you're not going to get around, though.
Those are the 2 that are trying to stretch it, the 18 and 151. The rest have pitted.
And as he takes the white flag here, Milt, he's going for it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Coming out of 2, he looks okay. He looks under power still.
The 9 is out of gas. He's slowing.
And go in car as he's going to take the checkered flags. You can see the engine still running. The fuel pressure you can see there is looks solid, and Robert Bochum has taken this victory. Unbelievable, Milt. That's a great fuels run that he just made there. I don't know if anyone else thought he could do that. I didn't. The 151 did bring it home in second, so both of those guys. Well, now it looks like the 151 might have ran out of gas on the last lap. Let's take
a look at that.
The 5 of Sean Johnson and the 88 of Joe Cutter now are showing in second and third, and guys showing now dropping into 5th.
He's coasting.
Yeah, looks like he wasn't able to get that fuel mileage like Robert was. And yeah, he finished a lap down. He did not make it, and he finished. He went from second to 6th there. And looking at the in-car here of Robert, you can see there's plenty of fuel in that car. What did he have, a second fuel tank? And there he's doing his donuts and celebrating here at the Lady in Black. He punched back here and tamed the track Too Tough to Tame.
Watching those strategies paid off. The 18 and the 5. 5 short pitted, as we recall, and it paid off for him too. So whatever Robert did, we'll have to talk to him about that. Boy, it sure paid off.
It sure did. And as we recap the final running order, Robert did take the victory, made that fuel stretch. He was the only one to make that fuel stretch. Followed by the 5 of Sean Johnson, who, as Den just said, did the short pit, and it did pay off for him with the solid second place finish. I'm sure he's very happy to finish second after the bad luck he's had in the other series. The 88 of Joe Cutter third. Pops Margison, who was 4th or 5th, I think, the entire race, finished in 4th, and followed by the 303 of Ken Ron, were the only cars on the lead lap.
I'm going to take a look and see if we can get the first, the podium finishers here, so I'll be back in a minute here.
And as Milt does that, 6 through 10, Guy Petra, who tried to make that fuel last and didn't, he finished a lap down in 6th, followed by the 191 of Mike Sanders. Derby Don, how about him battling back from multiple laps down to finish top 10 in 8th, only 1 lap down. And Ken Hansen, who had some problems and had some contact, kept focus and brought it home in ninth. The 9 car in ninth. And tough break for Mark DeSenza, who really had the field covered all night tonight with that final pit stop penalty. He dropped back down from first all the way to 10th. I'm sure he's very disappointed with that. Rounding out the guys a lap down were TG and Wayne, 11th and 12th respectively. The rest of the guys had some problems. Mark Fravert, Steve Weber, Mike Pruitt, Den down there with the valve problem in the motor, and then rounding out the top or the final 3 guys, Dean, Ed, and Rick Johnson, who had some bad luck at the beginning of the race there. Just a great job by Robert Bokum, Den.
Oh, absolutely, and that's not a surprise because I listened to him preach that stuff and that strategy on the radio, and he's just got it down to a science. I mean, it was just amazing to watch it from this vantage point.
Yeah, I just an incredible. I think maybe what you were saying, Dan, when he got that penalty, he said, you know what, the only way I can win this race is by making one less stop than everyone else. What do I need to do that? And he did it. And he stayed clean. He didn't get into the wall. He conserved his fuel, obviously, brilliantly. And he was able to pull out that win.
Yeah, he was 12 plus seconds down, and there was, like I said, there was no sense of him burning up his tires trying to get to them. Instead, he deployed his own strategy and started figuring out what he had to do to be there at the end.
Yeah, so Robert, they pretty much spelled it out there. You got anything else to add to that, or what? Your winner, Robert Bokum, great job, dude.
Man, I appreciate it. What an idiot. I sped on pit road talking to the guys, and last year, this has never been a really good track for me, I'll be honest with you. And I learned a lot from my teammates last year, but last year I got in a wreck and actually got flipped over and got in the back. And I was actually so slow, I just clutched a lot. The biggest problem I had tonight was trying to learn where to press the clutch in. But after that run, I was like almost 3 laps short. And as we got going, I couldn't go anywhere because everybody was kind of bumper to bumper, and I was watching the fuel, and as I was going, it changed, maybe going in turn 2, and then it started changing in down the back straight, and it started changing in turn 3, and I was like, man, I'm fixing to try this, If it works, it works. If it don't, I'll just come in and try to take some tires and go. Because my teammates were hauling butt up there, man. They were doing a great job. Give a shout out to Mark, Sean, Kim, and them guys were hooked up tonight.
Yeah,
I'm very proud of them, man. They're that's why I wanted to get with them. The guys run smart, and either way, I think it would have been one of us. But like I said, I made the mistake. I had to pay for it, so I had to keep telling myself, don't try to race, don't try to race, don't try to race. I kept just preaching it, and man, it just worked out. I actually had more fun than what I thought there at the end.
Yeah, it looked like we went in car with you there.
When did you start that? When did you start clutching?
Probably, I didn't start clutching as much as I was rolling out. And most people, you can pretty much hold it wide open through 1 and 2. I would roll out and just kind of, very slightly give it gas through 1 and 2. And about coming out turn 2, I'd start pushing it down. And then turn 3, I was probably letting out a little past halfway and just letting the car roll, letting it get turned, and then just start trying to ease the gas down. And that really helped out a lot. To me, I think that helps out just as much as clutching, because clutching sometimes upset the car when you let out and it pops that rear end back around, so you have to be real careful with it. So I think rolling out really helped it. Towards the last end, I really was clutching a lot. I got behind Ken. I was able to save a lot, but yeah, man, it just worked out. Man, give a shout out to my crew chief for making that call after I was brain dead.
Yeah, we were wondering why you were at the back. We looked back on it and saw that you got the penalty there, and we were wondering, once it went green again, you kind of hung back, and that's what we kind of were pondering, is that were you trying to do some kind of one-stop strategy to get back? Because we knew that time-wise, if there's no caution, you probably weren't going to get back to the front that way.
Yeah, that's what it was. One of them deals where once it's kind of this deal when you go to saving gas, you had to make the decision right then. Okay, this is the route I'm going to go. I put myself in this position. I've only left myself with this, this idea. So I've got to just get it in my head. That's the way I'm going to go. I cannot worry about who's around me. I can't worry about trying to race those other cars. And, I just kept the F2 screen up, kept, watching where everybody was coming up to me. I would try to let up, let them get me on the straightaway so I could just use a little bit of their air to pull me down through there. And when I come out of the last pit stop, it said none, 2 to the good. I thought, well, it looks good. But soon I started giving it a little throttle. It started coming down. I started getting the splash. And once I got the splash, to none, splash to none, I felt like I could do it with the way I kept, kind of rolling out like that. But, yeah, it was a great job. First of all, great job to everybody for keeping it green flag. That made the difference right there,
Yep.
That was what done it, kind of the same thing worked the other night, long green flag runs. First of all, the first run I was going to use the tire run, and me and Mark was pretty much set on doing that. And I had a good pit stop and got back out to the front. And then, like I said, I made the mistake of speeding, so I had to make the decision, and, man, it just worked out. But you can make them kind of decisions when you run drivers like this. You have faith in them that they're going to keep that green flag running, so I put my faith in them, and they just came through for me. I mean, that's not that more than I don't think I lucked into it, but I don't think I think I had to put myself in a position because I made the mistake. I had to make up for letting my crew down with that mistake. So, but great job to my guys, though, man. Like I said, if it wouldn't have been for me, I think Sean or poor Mark, man, he had a great run going. Then that speeding penalty got him, and when you speed under green, I think it really hurts you even worse. So,
Oh yeah,
but
the drive-through
everybody did a good job.
Yeah, that was great. And it looked like Guy tried to employ the same strategy as you were using, but he came up about probably half a lap short, and he went from second all the way back to sixth. So you were the only one really to manage to
really
bring
pull
it
it
home.
off,
So
huh?
that's pretty impressive when we know how good every single guy out there was thinking the same thing, and none of them could do it except you and Guy, but only one in the end was able to.
Well, I've learned from one of the best. and that's
Dan
Matt.
called it, man. Dan called it because he knows what was on your team channel there, and he saw you and Sean were on 2 different strategies, and still ended up 1-2.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
Yeah, Robert, they were trying to figure out what the strategy was, and I said, no, I think he got event of the longest line, and he's just going to ride back there and bide his time. He was talking strategy, going down pit road, and he probably got a few miles down the road.
He caught that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I made the mistake. I did. I was talking away, I was talking about whether, cause we didn't have that long of a run there, and I thought, I told them, I said, look, we got to keep going 4 tires. I think that's going to be the way to go, the way we keep running it. And I looked down and I hit 47. I said, man, I think I just got caught. And as soon as I hit that line, I heard him say, hey, too bad. I was like, oh, man. So I started paying attention to fuel then. But, yeah, great job. Like I said, it's an honor running here. But I'll be honest with you, I learned that right there from watching. That's what, I tell everybody, watch replays. I learned all that right there from watching Matt Watkins. I watched that man beat me so many times.
Mm-hmm.
When I run out of gas, he goes by waving at me. So I started trying to learn what he does. And
Yeah, he
like I
got it
said,
from Damien Gottstilla,
well, it's hard. Saving gas is hard because you want to go. You get them guys around. You want to race hard. You want to go. But I couldn't go anywhere anyways. Everybody was racing so hard. This track is so tough to pass on anyways. You have to time everything perfectly. So my only decision was to stay out of trouble, make this call. Caution comes out, then I'll have to go another route. But, that's what I went with, and it kind of worked out. But, man, thank y'all so much for doing this. This is freaking awesome that y'all take the time to show, let us get out here and race for y'all and talk about it, man. That just shows you what why everybody wants to be here. If you're listening out there and you don't race, go get a steering wheel and get into FSB racing because you are missing out on a freaking blast.
So, Sean, you were on the alternate strategy there, and you almost closed the gap there at the end there. What were you thinking?
Huh. Yeah. I got a black flag earlier and had to do a 2-tire strategy that time before last caution. Uh, so yeah, I had to pit a little bit early, so I couldn't go for fuel. So congratulations, Robert. Great win and good job, Joe. I just got off the phone with my friend. She was watching this, so it was fun to watch. She got to say my thoughts and prayers are with Jess and her family. She just lost her husband for cancer, so this gave her something to watch. Me and him used to race a lot, so tough friend to lose. I gave it
awesome.
my all. We're all a little praying that Robert would run out of fuel, but, that's almost impossible. He's so good here.
Well, if you're out there, Jess, man, our prayers go out to you. That's a tough thing what you're going through, but just know, even though we don't know you, we're definitely going to keep you in our prayers and think about you.
Class act, man.
Yeah, thank you, Robert.
So Joe Cat, man, what a solid night there. You just kind of crept into the top 10 and top 5. Not a whole lot of serious movement, just a slow progression to the front there. Great job on the podium, man.
Well, thank you. First off, you got to congratulate Robert on a fantastic strategy. He's got to be one of the smartest sim racers I know, and you can learn a lot just by watching Robert. And I contemplated the fuel saving strategy, and I just didn't think it'd work into my advantage tonight, and went with the short pit stop and 4 tires, and worked out pretty good. Came out with 3rd place finish, and when you're sitting there looking at Robert and Sean ahead of you, that's not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, great job,
Yeah,
Joe.
Hey, Joe, I just want to make mention, I know one time out of turn 4 there, my car really stepped out on you, the 16. I don't know if you remember, and you hesitated and didn't get back to the gas and take me out. I appreciate that. You're a first-class driver, and good job on your finish, man.
Well, thank you, Dan. I try to race smart. That's I think Robert can attest. If you're smart, you're gonna finish well most nights. So I pride myself on driving clean and smart, and it paid off tonight.
Yeah, good job, man. Yeah, well, Robert, towards the end of that deal, we was wondering what you were doing and what you were going to come up with, and if you could save enough. And I tell you what, brother, you didn't surprise me one bit. That you are the smartest driver I know out there. I love listening to you on the radio call out strategy. It's a great job, man. Great win.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. That means a lot coming from you, man, because you're definitely somebody I look up to for what you do, man. That's amazing what you do. So I definitely can contest, man. You're definitely one of my heroes. I've been racing with you for a long time, and when I made this team deal, man, like I said, I come right to you because just the kind of person you are, respectable driver you are, and for what you do, man. I mean, man, it's just freaking amazing. So if anybody don't know, they need to go check this guy out, and you'll really be amazed. You think what we do is good? Wait till you see what this guy does.
Yeah, that's right.
Appreciate that, buddy.
We still on there?
Milt Smite's canceled. I don't know where Greg's at.
Yeah, great recovery, Joe, man. I seen you get in the wall one time, so, man, that was a good job. Good recovery.
Yeah, late in that one run, she just got real loose on me, and I was trying to adjust my line, find something that worked, and had a little difficulty in finding that perfect line, but got in the wall a few times, but held on to her.
Yeah, it's a very tough setup about where you were. 3 and 4 is really tough as far as where you picked the throttle up. Seemed like the easier you went in, the better off it ran, and where 1 and 2 is opposite. It seemed like the harder you run, the better it would turn through there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Darlington's one of the toughest tracks that we run. It's so demanding, 99% of the time. You got to be on your toes. And once you take it easy and understand the track lines, and you're not in a big hurry and you race the track instead of everybody else, you can do pretty good.
Yep. Well, I hate to leave. I'm going to jump off here because I am fixing to get on the road and go drive 2.5 hours to take my 6-year-old to her dance competition in Chattanooga. So I'm sure she's going to listen to this. Good, you go get them, Caitlin Balcom. I hope you do good this weekend, and I appreciate everybody out there watching. Come back, because I know no matter who wins, you're going to see a show here at FSBRacing.com.
All right, good job, guys. Milt,
You're
want to take us out?
Yeah, just I don't know. Pretty much everything's been said that I could think of saying. So it's glad to be a part of it. And let's watch this replay. Good job.
Good job, guys. FSBRacing.com.